Hello. The subject of today's conversation is why social media still sucks. Hello. The subject of today's conversation is why social media still sucks. But don't just take it from me. Let's go out and find out what other people have to say about it. Hi. Welcome to Modern Conversations. I'm going to interview people to find out why social media sucks. Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
I'm Kiki.
Hi, Kiki. Do you think social media sucks?
I mean, I think it can suck. I like it.
I think social media is really just a tool that needs to be used properly and wisely.
I feel like it's necessary to stay connected to people, but I don't love it.
When you see people walk, nobody's walking relaxed. Everybody's walking. How many people can you find not walking with a cell phone?
It could be toxic, right? It's all about like just this like numbered ideas in the like the like amount of likes and followers.
Yeah, no, I think it's really it's interesting kind of what it's doing to society and culture, but at the same time, people also have more access than ever before.
A is for access, or the inability to disappear. Social media is a great way to stay in touch, specifically with the worst people you've ever met. If you've ever had an ex or an estranged family member or even a psycho coworker, your social media is the guaranteed best way for them to reach out to you. Privacy is this bougie boomer thing that sounds paranoid and out of touch, but that's only until somebody you don't want to hear from starts messaging people you tagged in your photos. It's like a directory of all the people your worst enemy might want to reach out to if they ever feel the need to pitch some insane story to get information about you, or just to spread defamatory lies that damage your reputation. Just like your mom will always be your number one fan, your exes and your enemies will always be your number one followers. B is for boring. I can't help feeling that the more that I get used to this low bar, low brow entertainment, the more it teaches me to settle for less. There is art out there that really challenges people and makes them see the world in a broad, grander light. And then there's this shit that's kind of amusing. C is for creatively limited. For one thing, it's kind of hard to blow people's minds when you're limited by your medium. How do you reinvent a medium that only accepts .mkvs, .mp4s, .movs, .pngs, or .jpeg files? There are also the creative limitations that come from the social media audience. When you make a spectacle out of your life, a social media audience expects the star of the show to have the same personality and interest and motivating goals as the last time they saw you. Just like a TV audience wants everyone on screen to have their hair brushed and their makeup in place, and the way everyone who eats out at a restaurant expects to have the same food whenever they go back, you are not allowed to grow, change, or learn anything that would make you act differently. When you start making one thing and then veer off to make another, they're gonna dip. And if you're afraid of that, it can lead to creative self-limitation. D is for dependency. No matter who you are, having this thing and publishing on it involves feeling the itch to check it for approval. You just gotta see what people are saying about the shit that you put up earlier, and regardless of your personality, you're gonna feel some type of way about it. What don't you love about it?
I don't like being available all the time to everybody.
Do you think there's any way you could use it and not get addicted and be the same person?
I think so, yeah. If somebody, like if I had to use it for a purpose or a tool, and only for those purposes, I could do that and be disciplined enough not to get addicted.
But the thing is, it doesn't really depend on your personality. It can affect the kind of personality you have. Your personality is not set in stone. It can easily change and adapt to whatever kind of stress you're under, or the place you live, or whatever work you do. Think of your personality as less of a solid and more of a liquid. The you that lives abroad in Japan for a year is different from the you that goes to Yale and does mushrooms. I'm not sure I can say which of those is better, but to think you'd be the same person either way is crazy. Likewise, when you use social media, it impacts the kind of person you are. And how do you think you're going to feel when you know that you are the sad kind of person who constantly processes their life through what it looks like on the internet? E is for exhaustion. You cannot simply start using these tools to share your life online without it impacting everything else you do in some way. Thank you. If I choose to share my life online, I'm going to have to start living my life more photogenically. I have to start dressing in a photogenic fashion and eat in pretty places with good lighting and less spur-of-the-moment spontaneity. I'm also going to have to appear in highly coordinated outfits, making sure that they're camera ready and that my hair is brushed and in place and freshly cut. If I'm hanging out with other people, I have to make sure that they're comfortable being featured in my homespun propaganda, and I have to regulate their appearances to make sure that they meet the broadcast standards demanded by my mass media audience. I have to raise my voice to be picked up by the microphone, or else I sound like this. All of that is quite frankly a little exhausting. It takes just as much energy as it would take to get twice as much done without filming it. Without all that, I could not only eat, but study and go to the gym and do anything else that needs taken care of. What you're seeing is never really a day in the life of me, but me performing a day in the life and doing a shit job at it compared to when I'm actually present, paying attention, and getting things done. F is for fickle. Social media can be kinda cool because it lets you zoom in on your interests and see behind the scenes content about stuff that interests you, but have you ever noticed that there's not a lot of stuff left that everybody is into? Like if you look at the cover of any major newspaper, the only thing left there is politics, and that's only because it's something that nobody can ignore. You know, I think that maybe having too much of your own interests distracts you from discovering other things that you and your algorithm don't already know that you like. Also, it feels like nothing that's important on social media is ever important for very long, so seeing that makes us creatives want to create things that are meant to be forgotten in seconds. It's less like creating a document and more like drawing on an Etch-a-Sketch. G is for groupthink. When you're in school, it feels like your peers and what they think of you will follow you to the ends of the earth, like they are absolutely representative of everyone everywhere and how they feel about everything. But your high school graduating class are not even 1% of 1% of the world population. They all have more in common with each other than any 10 people chosen at random on Earth, because they were born close to the same place, and close to the same year, and probably raised with the same culture and recreation and entertainment. Likewise, when you're on social media, it can feel like everyone is on social media, but that's not true. The people that you find on there are not even a tiny fraction of the world population, and they all have high-speed internet connections, electricity, and proficiency in the same language. They all share a similar lifestyle that is comfortable enough that they're looking to cure their boredom. We don't hear anything out of people who've got bills to pay and whose hands are too covered in dirt or grease to use a touchscreen, or people who can't afford housing or a monthly internet bill. H is for health, specifically mental. What exactly is mental health anyway? Is it like this health bar that goes down and when it runs out you get unalived?
Yeah, no, I think that our lives, collectively and individually, would be far less not necessarily less stressful, because it's not the only source of stress. There are practical stressors, but I don't know. I think that we'd feel a little less crazy without it.
There are a lot of emotional downsides for social media, but I just try to think an app should never be able to control your emotion.
I'm just trying to use it in a healthy way as much as possible.
Basically, they're all saying that it makes you feel like shit. You need research to tell you that you feel like shit? And what else? Glowing water bottles to tell you when you're thirsty? If coffee makes you happy, drink coffee. If you feel like curling up into a ball in the middle of the day, then drink some water. You've got instincts. They're like apps that you don't need to recharge. And if social media is making you feel like shit, stop using it. People don't say books are bad for your mental health. I wonder why that is. I don't read a book and feel down on myself because I'm not as badass as the main character. I think the difference is social media content is presented as though it's real and unfiltered, even though it obviously isn't. I is for image projection. This alone is the one reason I would never open an account under my own name on the internet. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm John Baking Soda. Hit me up on the gram.
Oh, so he thinks he's really clever.
Or,
Oh, so he thinks he's really hot.
Pouring time and energy into an online version of yourself only to have people see it and know that you poured precious time and energy into that is psychologically revealing. You are never saying what you think you are saying about yourself when you post online. In addition to what you actually publish, you also have to worry about who you follow and who follows you, because all of that is public information that is open to uncharitable interpretation. If you've been around for even a little while, you gotta know there are a lot of people out there who are bored and angry and bitter about their own lives. And those people are not cheering for you. They are desperate to feel like the main characters of their own lives, and that means that some of them are interpreting you in the least flattering light possible. Oh, and if you didn't know that, welcome to the world. I don't know, was the internet better in the early 2000s? If so, it was probably because it wasn't so self-conscious yet, with everybody posing on here to try and get clout and money. J is for joke. The main nail in the coffin, in spite of everything that supposedly makes social media so great, is that at the end of the day, social media is abso-fucking-lutely useless. Useless, you say? But how can that be? It's a way for me to reach new fans and finally become the adored artist or musician or politician I've always dreamed of being. Not if they don't believe in you. Start keeping the score. SoundCloud didn't make you a rock star. Instagram didn't make you into a Kardashian. Did LinkedIn give you an amazing, high-paying professional career right out of college that lets you pay for a home? Get real. The point is, Barack Obama did not blow up because people saw pics of him being presidential on some shitty profile and went, whoa, somebody has to get this guy a record deal as president. No. He had to slog it out in the real world, which is messy and complicated and uncertain, and it's a place where you have to build your own platform and stand on it. It won't improve your life. But I know something that will.
Do you want to flaunt your punk rock credentials? How about a sweet custom hat, handmade and customized to your specification? Head over to galvanizedsteels.com to get your Social Media Sucks hat. Don't miss out. You can be like the lucky contestants in this video. Hurry over to galvanizedsteels.com and get your Social Media Sucks hat before supplies run out for just $12.99 plus shipping. Subscribe and follow at Galvanized Steels to get the latest cutting-edge products featuring cute graphics, messages, and conversation starters you like. This product is actually for sale. Supplies are extremely limited.
Social media doesn't improve your life. It's TV for millennial pluses. Sorry to break it to you, but all they did was take TV and Chipotlify it. Instead of TV giving everybody the same fillet of fish, the algorithm is asking, would you like tomatillo sauce? Which gives you the illusion that it's feeding you some perfect custom masterpiece, when all it's actually doing is making different combinations out of its 12-ingredient bag of tricks that includes pretty pictures, animals with fur, people singing, and stories picked out by political aggregators. Oh, on a related side note, K is for keyboard activists. You cannot change the world through the internet. Yes, you can raise awareness, but people have so much awareness about everything nowadays that it's almost like, who cares? If anything, the people that you want to resist want you to waste your life on the internet. And lastly, L is for loss of intimacy. In so many ways, social media offers you a cheap substitute for reality.
Because I think that's a lie, that it allows you to stay connected. Or not a lie, but a myth. Lie is a very powerful word, but it's kind of a myth that it allows you to stay more connected to people because just seeing what somebody is doing online is not the same as actually communicating with them and actually having a connection with them.
A follower, they can't relate to you in person, talking face to face. A friend, they could talk to you on whatever topic, or good and bad. Can I have you as a friend? You need me as a friend, I'm there for you. A follower can't do that. They can only go by the people that they get excited about. People, that amounts of followers that they're getting attention on the social media, that's making them feel like there's somebody. Other than that, they don't have nothing else but that. That's all they have. And that's how real is that?
An audience can never really know you, and also you can never genuinely know them. You might enjoy the attention and the affection that they offer. You might even love certain things about the personality they express in the comments. But since you don't actually know each other, you can never offer the more important qualities of a relationship like generosity, loyalty, and supportiveness. All media is one-way communication, and relationships are about two-way communicating. That's how we learn to read human beings and be understood by them. Since social media distracts us with one-way communication and undemanding entertainment, it keeps us from interacting with people who are available and could actually meet those deeper needs. Only both they and we are too busy distracting ourselves.
I feel like I see commercials from my friends more than I actually talk to those friends.
Exactly. No, it's like making a commercial for yourself, for your friend. Yeah, no, completely. We've seen what each other is doing to some extent, but we actually have no idea what's actually going on with each other.
Conclusion. Many people say that social media is an inescapable reality. It's just part of the world we now live in. But let's pretend it's not too late. Let's imagine for a moment that we're not already in too deep with our photos and information out there for the world to see. And we can still take a step back and decide if maybe our energy is better used on things that give back more in return. I'd like to thank everybody who contributed to this video, so shout out to Kiki, Kanami, Kristen, Michael, Breezy, Alex, Cabbage, Octavia, Nina, and anybody I'm leaving out. If you haven't already heard this 1,000 times to the point where it sounds like an air conditioner left on, comment your thoughts whether you agree or disagree. Share this with a friend to hear their thoughts. Like and subscribe so that I might get off my ass and do this again. Thanks very much. Bye.